Hi guys, in last week's video on Temple of Anubis, a few of you told me that you'd like to see a guide or general tips for playing Symmetra on King of the Hill. So today I'm going to give you a few pointers and a really quick run through on how I make Sim work more effectively on Nepal in particular. So firstly, the reason why Symmetra is more difficult to play on King of the Hill maps is because the maps themselves are symmetrical, so you don't have the luxury of setting up turrets as you do on defense, for example. And not only that, she also lacks the pushing power that is often, crucial at the start of rounds to capture the point. Does that mean that she's an inferior or a subpar pick? Well, not really. I think that her strengths on King of the Hill lie in the utility that she provides with the ultimate, and also her ability to hold the point with her turrets. Alrighty, so let's talk about the first stage in Nepal, which is Village. The capture point here is quite isolated as it's surrounded by walls and buildings and stuff, and it also has a roof, which is great for dealing with those pesky Pharaohs. So rather than going to the top at the beginning of the round, I recommend going straight to point, because the combination of your turrets and your team's shields, assuming that you have some, should help you to capture it. And not only that, your orbs will actually be easier to hit, as players will generally be bunched up as they try to push in. So do your best not to die, because that will really set you back, and focus on building your ultimate using your right click, as well as kiting using the walls and your shield. So if your team loses, then fall back and wait for the next push, because there's no point in dying and then sort of staggering your team. Once you have your ultimate up, you should really try and find a good spot to put it. I usually use shield gen on King of the Hill maps, because I think that the permanent shields are a great utility tool for the team. I only use teleporter if I think that it would be better to get my teammates back to point quicker. Unfortunately though, here Farah decides to solo ulti me and destroys my shield generator in the process, because she would have died otherwise. So let's say your team is holding the point and you are waiting for the enemy team to push in with their ultimates. What do you do next? For me, I play Symmetra as a flanker who likes to terrorize their squishy supports, so that's exactly what I tried to do here, because I know that taking out their healer, especially Mercy, would be worth it even if I die. So in fact, I managed to take Farah out as well, which is even better. As you can see, even though the enemy team managed to capture the point, we were able to push them out again because they had no sustain or res, and that's what you should be actively aiming to do as Symmetra in general, to be unpredictable and pop up in places where the enemy team's distracted and proceed to wreak havoc or whatever. And sometimes you will completely fail and die before you touch anybody, but that's okay as long as you aren't blindly head rushing into the enemy team. Okay, so the next stage is Shrine, which is similar to Village in a lot of ways, except the point itself is a lot more open. However, there are a lot of pillars and things which you can use as cover to sort of hide behind and avoid a lot of damage, so definitely use those when you're playing here. So I probably got a bit too ambitious here trying to kill Mercy and Farah, which leads to our team losing the point, so that's something to bear in mind, to not be too aggressive when you don't have your shield generator up, or if you don't have a healer pocketing you. In terms of shield generator placement, I like to put it up here towards the point, but you can also consider putting it to the top left in one of the rooms. So ignoring the fact that I just got sniped like a complete idiot, I get rezzed and we are trying to recapture the point. Although I kill Zarya, I know that they are going to get revived soon, so I take that time to set up turrets to help us fight them again. With Mercy pocketing me, I am able to play a lot more aggressively here, so I don't hesitate to jump in and hold my left click. And after I land a few more orbs, I get my ultimate back, so here's another shield generator spot which you might find useful. At this point in the round, I've put up my turrets around the point and am waiting for the enemy's final push. Our Zarya uses her grav here, so I move in and try to do as much damage as I can. You may notice that my screen shakes a bit, and that's because I'm spamming crouch, which is actually a really useful trick, especially for Symmetra players, because it's quite jarring to the enemy when they see a Symmetra like crouch spamming, and this is the reason why I didn't get killed by Roadhog here. Don't get me wrong though, a good Roadhog player will kill you regardless, so yes, Roadhog is still the bane of my existence. In general though, crouch spamming is very helpful, especially in 1v1 situations, and it's also very useful for dodging projectiles. The remaining stage on Nepal is Sanctum, which is probably the hardest stage for me because the point's very open and there's not really many places to hide, nor are there good ultimate spots which don't get destroyed in like 2 seconds. I won't say much about this stage because my playstyle is generally similar to the other stages I talked about. At the start, you and your team should try to move towards the higher ledge where you can zone with your orbs much better due to the narrow space, and make sure to place turrets around you in case there are flankers or a Winston that tries to dive you. So in this game we get off to a really rocky start and eventually we are about to hit overtime, so I quickly put down my shield generator in this spot here and then try and find a route to where maybe I can flank their backlines. So I noticed their Mercy hiding on the right, so I try and get her, although I know that she would probably fly away. Nevertheless, I am able to zone her quite hard so that she has to fly out of position and use her res early, which is really good. So then we can do a graviton combo and recapture the point. I guess the thing I'm trying to reinforce here is that when you're playing attack sim, you don't need to always be focused on killing everyone in order to be useful. You're already providing utility with your ultimate, and your next job should be getting kills where it counts or securing the point with your turrets. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I didn't really select clips where I was getting lots of kills because I wanted to show you guys my general thought process when playing Symmetra. If you found it helpful, please let me know what other maps or things you'd like me to cover. I'm thinking of doing a Bronze to Grandmaster series or something like that next season, although I don't really know how I'm going to get my Smurf to Bronze. One last thing before I go, I just want to give a shout out to Luminum, my friend and fellow Symmetra player who actually plays her quite differently to how I do. He lately made a video talking about haters and bad teammates at our rank, so make sure to check that out. And to all my fellow Mercy mains out there, don't worry, I will be making more Mercy videos soon. So thanks for watching and bye.